Just sorting that in there. Close that. Open that. Okay, I've never seen that before. What's this? What the hell? I'm gonna get a little bit of water. 'Cause I'm thirsty. Ah. Nice. Okay. So, what was it that Son wanted me to do last time? I believe it was the scavengers. Something to do with them at the very least. I did have that new idea today, and it was pretty cool. Hmm. Helicopter. What the hell? Man, no one's near, and that's kind of sad. Uh, Hand. I'm just having fun being a dumbass right now. Dismiss that. What was the request last time? I think it was. I think it was the scavengers. Scavengers, more scavengers stuff. Either is fine. Man, where the hell is Sidon at? Okay, so. Okay, so. New file. Create. Okay, so. Let's up that a bit. Generally, some things that are inspiration. That looks too cowboy-y. I want them to have, like, I want them to look ridiculous in some way. I do really like the because a lot of this is gonna be like kind of what's the word? Like what's the bit that was just before the Napoleonic era? Like 17th century, I guess. essentially really big, goofy hats on like kind of serious-looking people is honestly hilarious to me. And I know there's no one, and I'm talking to myself, and that is kind of sad, but oh well. Um. It's some music. Let's get some music up in this beat. Hola, hombre. That might be. That might not be a good thing to say. Okay, let's. Okay, I like the hat on that. We're keeping that new layer. See, one thing I do like about dark fantasy is because this is intended to be a dark fantasy world. Although I have had some ideas that are kind of like I don't know what they classify as, like industrial punk, diesel punk, something like that. Okay, so if I just make like a normal, basic silhouette. Just move it up a bit, make my life easier. Just give them stick arms because I can't be asked to. The funny thing, I can get silhouettes down decently easily. I just can't draw for some reason sometimes. Just blocking out shapes right now. So basic human silhouette. That's the current what I'm trying to do. I've been doing this for 3 months. What the hell? It's gonna be worth it. What was Silence doing? Why isn't he here? He's usually here within 10 minutes. Didn't wanna know just how low you'd go. I didn't wanna know. I didn't wanna know. You made me heartbroken. Now I'm revoked and I'm so fond proving you wrong. So fun. Let's give him like a funky shoulder piece. Want it to kind of like poke up, because I think bit short, like pauldrons that do that. That's the word. Like chunky pauldrons. Chunky pauldrons are cool. Oh, hi, Siden. Still says 0 viewers. You asked for scavengers, so I'm attempting to work on the scavengers. You were here within 10 minutes, were you? Sure you were. He says at 11 minutes. But I keep it hot. I think, you know, like the Musketeer, like the Three Musketeers, that kind of like shit. I can't think of what it's called, but that kind of thing. I think it's a good idea. See, the problem with designing scavengers as a whole is that the entire point of the scavengers is that each of them is meant to look different and unique, and so I can't. Because if I ever like make a setting in like an RPG or some stuff, you'll be playing as a scavenger. I do like the pauldron though. Pauldrons are cool. I can't think of anything. I'm stuck. Might not do scavengers today. But you know what we can do? I had what I think is a really cool idea for vampires in this setting. So instead of the classic, oh, give me a second. My window open? No, it's not. Okay. Um, instead of the classic, oh, they're cursed, or oh, it's a virus, or any of that crap. So the idea that I have is essentially blood engines. An engine that functions off of blood. Like the blood is the fuel. And essentially the idea of this is let's sketch up. So let's just sketch up. Don't know why I cut that off. Oh, hey, bud. Wait, you're here? What? You, like, never turn up to these. Anyway, hey, man. What's up? The current thing I'm talking about is, an idea that I had earlier today for vampires in my setting. So, like, in yours, they're mosquitoes, which is very thematic. Um, but in this one, I had the idea for them to use blood engines, essentially an engine that uses blood as fuel. And that has actually finally led to me, what's the word? I think I might actually have a magic system, and by magic system, it's very simple. Um, the magic system in quotation marks is essentially magic equals fuel. So how do I explain this? Essentially, all magic takes the form of some sort of physical object. I think the most common is what I'm gonna call, like, I don't know what to call it, but essentially the concept of it is, how do I, so the world is made up of the walls, right? Like the big, big walls. Everything is covered in them. Oh yes, damn, that sucks, son. But I had the idea that what if inside of these walls, um, there was some sort of like not not like I guess the best way to put it is like blood vessels. So essentially, the walls have quote unquote magic in them, which is essentially just fuel. And this might have been discovered like as an accident when they were just like, can we break the walls? Yes. What happens if we keep going and then someone gets sprayed in the face with funky blue stuff? Because like you think magic, you tend to think blue. See, the chat I can. Okay. That's faster than that. That's kind of funny. Um, and then honestly, the idea of the vampires came first, and how this works is based off of that. So essentially, the thought process behind blood equals fuel, which, if you get the reference, hell yeah. Um, the way people came to this conclusion is that this stuff is essentially wall blood. And then they thought, if this can power stuff, what about human blood? Because that's easier to obtain. And that would have led to a like like a well, generally people would like for like so too many words. Brain thinky too much. I need to put the music off. Where's my mouse? There we go. Where was I? Uh, so the way it would work, wall blood, yes, wall blood, blood from the wall. Um, but essentially, so there'd be like some kind of engine. Don't ask me to draw an engine. I don't know how those things work. I do know they have. Well, no, I know how a combustion engine works. I can't draw them. I don't know how they look. But essentially, like think engine, um, magic, go in, power, come out. And because magic in this setting, from what I've currently got, the magic is wall blood essentially. I don't have a name for it or anything like that, but wall blood. Um, people simply went if wall blood is a power source. I've already said this. Okay, so like one small engine could take like a small engine with like one or two like small ornaments could function off of just the blood you passively produce. You might get anemic from it, but it wouldn't require you to like steal other people's blood. When you get past that, however, like say you want to get like night vision or incredibly strong or incredibly fast, you're gonna need more blood because otherwise your engine's gonna run out. So I'm sorry I can't work on the scavengers. I don't have enough of the world figured out to draw them essentially because they're scavengers. They're going to be taking they're going to be taking stuff from everyone else. So I need to figure out other people before them. But I had this idea for the vampires, and I just I just think it's really neat. So I think I'm going to try and attempt to figure out what they look like. Um, the general thing is essentially human, but augmented. So cybernetics, essentially. So if I attempt to draw like a face real quick. Very chiseled. Yeah. Um, ears or something. So like normal person, normal guy. How would this work? Well, in his like abdomen, essentially, he'd have the engine. Probably. So I'm guessing with the like quote unquote higher up vampires, the stronger ones, the ones with more augments, they wouldn't need to eat. They'd just have to get fuel, blood. But for the lower end ones, they'd probably just have it on like as like a bag, like engine bag. Engine bag. That's what the idea started as. I do like this brush. It's very nice. But so say he wants like funky eye, it's gonna have like uh tubes and stuff. And kind of Adeptus Mechanicus looking, but you know, a bit more hobbled together. And so then comes the question, okay, they need blood. They can't produce enough by themselves. How do they get it? From there, that's what I need to try and figure out. Because I'm not certain. I've had a few ideas, such as classic, just like tooth. Um, I had the idea for like, have you seen Scarecrow from the Arkham games? How he has like, let me just draw a fist real quick. It's easier as a geometric shape. Um, so don't need that line. Need that line though. No. Get rid. Go. Leave. Be gone. Um, so maybe they have little like syringes on the back of their hand or something. But I don't know because that might be for like the smaller ones. Have I been collecting these ideas in Obsidian for all the magic stuff? No, I came up with this today as I was walking back from an assessment. I was in a decently good mood, and apparently I get creative when I'm in a good mood. I've been like holding on to this all day, and I'm just getting la la la. It's like leaving and my mouth, and it's just not making sense from what I can like say. I was playing Arc Raiders earlier. Still a really good game. So like they'd have like all these. I don't like drawing people because they never look right. But so let me just whoop 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 whoop. We're gonna say this is a person. Don't quote me. And this is just really quick sketch. Okay, let's just say that. So look, he's got a little face and everything. That is disturbing. Let's get rid of that. Favorite gun in Arc Raiders? Ooh, Renegade. Really good gun. Love it. Although I have recently got my hands on a patina and the patina blueprint somehow. Um, I tried that in the shooting range. I don't want to risk it, but that thing is nice. Like semi-auto uses heavy ammo. Whoa. Anyway, so this is Dave. Let's say this is Dave. Dave starts off with a little bag on his side. It's got like some exhausts and stuff sticking out. Brr. Venator. What, the blue pistol? That was okay. See, I was having a really hellish time earlier today. Um, and lost a bunch of stuff. Decided, screw it, I'm gonna go with free loadout. I've ended up with a very nice Stitcher 4 and a very nice Ferro 4, and I got a Volcano and a Torrentor, something like that. Anyway, back to this. So I'm getting sidetracked. Whoops. So funny little engine. Engine needs blood. So engine has tube, which probably like goes into his body. It's just and he I wonder why that's saying 0. And okay, what does Dave want to as a augment? Something to like upgrade himself, I guess. Maybe he wants, as earlier, a little funky eye. And then he's got okay. Dave still looks like a regular guy. He can have this and it will just function off of his own blood. But maybe Dave wanted like a really cool like what's the word? Like a power fist almost, I guess. And it can like shoot laser beams and shit. I don't know. Um he can't sustain something of that class. Reaction time, Dave needs reaction time. um but something like that, super big engine to make the super powerful. What do you mean by that? Could they have a super big engine too? Oh, so yes, the size of the engine will dictate like so. Closest thing I can think of, Cyberpunk. If have you played it? If so, hell yeah. But the different operating systems. I just realized having a guy named Dave, aka David, and talking about Cyberpunk, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, ha 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 ha, might have made you cry. Anyway, so the engines will can probably like range from little box thing that's just like on a sling, and then it's got like mrr. I am not making much sense, but I hope you understand me. So it can range from that. It could be like say that's the chest, abdomen. Yes, I'm. It's easier to draw on like cubes and geometric shapes rather than natural ones sometimes. So and then you can go up from there from like something that small to something like that will replace part of your body. So it's like built in. You are um so still relatively small. So that's like so this is like just like a little bag thing, and then it can get big. Um, and it could one thing I have experimented a little bit with. So let's get a dude. That is not the right angle. No, I like that line. So let's say this is Dave, but Dave's like gone all out on on the things. He's gonna need a big engine, like a big one, really powerful. He's gonna need a lot of blood. So if we quickly give Dave a bit of a like normal form real quick, that went surprisingly well. So essentially, so this is Dave again. Dave is a little bit sad for some reason, but eventually, when they need like a lot, they're not gonna look human anymore. That's the premise. The more they go into it, the less human they are. Not the whole like, are they more man than machine kind of thing, but maybe his like entire chest cavity gets replaced with one really big engine. I feel like I'm not making sense, and I'm trying. I really am. So, and then let's give it some exhausts and stuff. Again, don't know enough about cars and engines and stuff to actually like design one properly. Not, I've got autism, just not the car autism. I have friends who have car autism, but son of a, spelling really cool. Love Cyborg, yes, implementation stuff. Gonna do some marking, but I'm listening in the background. That's cool. Don't worry. Ba, 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 ba. I forgot that you're a teacher. I think I might be crazy. Crazy? I was crazy one. Anyways, um, so it's gonna need like a lot of pipes and stuff. And they're just gonna be like poking out everywhere because whilst yes, it would be more practical to have what's the word? It would be more practical to have all the wiring stuff on the inside. Um hell no, that's not as cool as big ass wires or tubes in this case. But again, so going back a bit, um how do they get blood? That's that's something that's the bit that I'm trying to figure out today. And this is just a purely design standpoint I need to figure out. So as they go deeper into that path, they rely more on the engine to replace standard bodily functions. Exactly. The more they do it, the bigger the engine needs to be, and the more the engine can replace. So, like, as I said, one that replaces the entire chest cavity would be in like a decently powerful engine. Not like the biggest, because like uh new layer. The biggest one would probably be like let's give him a head real quick. Um like this is where we get into the territory of like the big ones. So let's just it's looking like a JoJo's Part 3 character. Big ass shoulders, let's not do that. Man, why can I never get shoulders right? Either look too big or too small, and it's such a weird balance. I'm actually heading back for the holidays on Saturday. I forgot about that. One viewers, no way. Anyway, um, what was I saying? Oh wait, yeah, I was trying to draw the big one, like the big one. This like this is where we get into like mecha kind of stuff. Brr, brr. So it would essentially be, are they even human anymore? All you can really see is possibly the face. And I have no idea what I want. That's the thing, I don't know what I want them to look like. I know engine and, like, augments. Pain and drawing shoulders, it is the bane of my existence. Wait until you get to hands, man. Oh. Let's just add shapes until it works. But yeah, big engine means big power, essentially. I can't think of how to draw this. I'm in a really creative mood and I just can't draw, and it's upsetting me so much. Lead me to the slaughter. Get, get. I'm trying to replace the nib. It won't come out. Space Marine 2 was a pretty good game though. I haven't played it in a while. There we go. Okay, open the pen stand for new nib. Come on, give me. Give me the. There we go. That one. Can do nondescript hands, but shoulders are a crucial part of human figure and recognizability. They cannot be simplified. That's the thing, they can though. Everything can. You can simplify everything down. Like a lot. Screw that back on. And the pen works again. Yippee. Yippee. That feels so much smoother. Let's try and draw a vampire then, shall we? So, do we want to do front on, side in? Dumb joke. Ba, 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 ba. Don't know where to start, therefore get this pan out and just block in shapes. Let's do a side on, sort of. Just get the silhouette correct. I want this one to have like a sort of hunchback sort of shape. Nope, that is all of it gone. I need. Okay, this is already disturbing. On the right track. Okay, so pelvis should be around there. Buttocks. Charcoal drawings. Ah, my savior is this brush is my savior when it comes to like if I open the if I open this like this brush was my savior because it just lets it's indistinct and that's what I needed. Anyway, what do I do with the arms? Smudge tool. Smudge tool. I probably do. I just don't use it. There's got to be a smudge tool, surely. Smart patch tool. I have no idea what that is. Enclose and fill. I didn't know there was an enclose and fill. Excuse me. Drop. Multi-brush. Multi-brush? What? Excuse me? What the? That is funky. If there is a smudge tool, I don't know where it is. What should his arms be doing? Will you reveal your winter challenge thingy art? No. Next week. I want to do it close to Christmas. I haven't worked on it in a few days. Thanks for the reminder. I don't know what his arms should be doing. What, like, should we be reaching forwards? What? Ow, I just hit my hand on my desk. Anyway, if I just block in the shape, it makes it easier. Oh, that lagged for a second. I think his legs are too big. No ideas. Well, what could you for then? Nah, I'm kidding. This is just. Hmm. You haven't started yet? Damn. Okay, let's try this again. I think I need to just think of a pose. I want it to be like large, but kind of like big center of mass, long limbs. That's what I want to go for. So if I like add the head, I want it to have like a hunched back. This is just form finding at the moment. Okay, it kind of reminds me of one of those enemies from what's it called? Do you remember, Simon, that the like the competition thing has to be to do with the acceleration? Don't forget that. I do like the overly long limbs. That's something I want to keep. I let's finish this. Let's get this pose done. See if it works. Everything has an ugly face. Don't forget that. Okay. Shrink that down a bit. Okay. First one done. Let's get another one. Um, this is just making shapes, doing some fan law homebrew. Oh Bard, will a short paragraph explaining the setting contribute to my word count? I have not forgotten. Doing some fan law homebrew, just not taking place in the Albion. Oh, okay. Just saying. Um, maybe almost like spiderish. No, that's off. I haven't got like the lore of these guys fleshed out a lot. I feel like the design's going to change with it. Like have shortening and all that jazz. I will say yes. No, I really got to budget every last word. Did you see the Divinity trailer for the game from the Game Awards? As in like Divinity Original Sin, like that series. I haven't played any of them, and I wasn't um paying attention to Game Awards. What one? Hmm, to like remove from some of the shapes as well. Okay, that's an okay one. I think I prefer it. New one. Played the Divinity series. The trailer is amazing. It felt like a Blizzard trailer. Mm-hmm. Larian Studios. They do have a very good reputation. That is true. Um, I feel like something more dynamic is needed. Because whilst I like how it looks with this one's more dynamic, but it doesn't work. It doesn't give the vibe that I'm looking for. What if I have it like? Oh, that's still on erase. Whoops. Do 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 do. Oh wait, idea. So, proceeds to redraw that exactly. No. What if it's climbing down from somewhere? That doesn't look right, but I do like the idea of that. It's just difficult to pull off. I haven't actually finished Baldur's Gate 3. I've like I got just to the point before you get past the second area. I do like the idea of more digitigrade structure, but that is difficult to draw at a weird angle like that. Ooh. 250 pages on my dog, that's a lot more than last time. It's like a proper D&D game. I have played it with another person, one friend in specific, who I actually play D&D with. Ooh, he's actually the guy who turns up sometimes, Lich King. Ooh, God, my stomach is not happy about that pizza I had earlier. Butt cheeks. um, I've only ever played it with one other person though. I have to go like look at the matches. Thanks, man. Hopefully it does go well. Thanks for turning up. I can't figure out where the legs go. What is he climbing off? That is a goodbye, yes indeed, Sidon. That doesn't look right. Have a good weekend as well, bud. Thanks for popping by. Even if it was for a short time. Okay, this one isn't terrible, I guess, but it's just not working, and it upsets me. I want to have it facing the camera. New layer. There we go. Uh, what was this layer again? Dave. I can't think. I can't think. Oh, water. Need that. My lips were dry as hell. Ooh, what if I? Okay, okay, so maybe rock. It's like a guy behind the rock. His legs like bunched up in front of him. And then it's peering over the rock. Classic sort of like horror-y. Or maybe it's like looking up past the rock. Move it down a bit. Focuses on the monster after all. I do think its hand being there would be pretty good idea. Is the bard still here, or has the stream finally recognized my existence? I think the stream has finally recognized your existence. Let's get these up. What do we think is like? So I like how this one here, I like how it demonstrates the proportions quite well. This one, honestly, no. Just no. This one, I think it has potential, but I can't get the proportions of the legs to work. So it's kind of maybe later. This one, I don't know. I just Can't make a decision. Ah. I've been here for an hour, goddamn. Side, give me some feedback. Which one do you think works best? It would like falling forever for you to catch up and type and all of that. Um, bum, 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 bum. Oh, God. I can't. I do like the idea of it having like the third one. Maybe I could just get the legs like just use shadow to my advantage. Mwahaha. Yeah, that works. Okay, we're gonna make a new document for it. That's a layer. Whoops. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, this this one, this one. Just gonna like. Yep, that works. Okay, we've got the basic shape of it. Now to try and think. Okay, so basic like model of it, I guess. So I think having like some kind of hood with like long drapey bits. Well, maybe not that long, but like just drapey bits because drapey bits are quite cool. No, no, I don't think so. So, how do we make this look inhuman though? Just make it look like I had a beard. Okay, so let's give it like relatively big engine sort of space. You picked the one with the most difficult perspective, and yes, I agree, it's cool, but I have an idea. Pinterest? Can you help me? Go away, I don't want notifications on my bloody PC. Um, uh, um, whoa, whoa, that's a bit extreme. I like it. AI modified. God damn it! Oh, wait. Now that the bar is gone, it's time to state my idea. Canada or North America and the acceleration due to unknown disaster is incredibly cold, making agriculture impossible. The cold decimated human populations, leading to Fey dominance, hostile relations between. That's a pretty cool idea. Okay, I might have unintentionally been inspired by something, but this is metal as hell. and I do like it. Anyway, um, I'm thinking like big tubes as well as like smaller ones, just everywhere. And it needs an exhaust somewhere. Maybe there. Do you think that works? No. Maybe two exhausts. That this is looking pretty decent, I'd say. I do want the limbs to be sort of mechanized, kinda. And I do also want to just not to have to deal with the back of it, because that would take far too much thought. I didn't even, I just made it darker. Okay, you know what, let's try and work with this as it is. This funky brush, and by that I mean just my lining one. I'm gonna stay away from my hands for a moment, for the moment. Ooh, okay, idea. So let's get. So what if, essentially no lower jaw? And then like I'm making this less opaque because it's hard to see. Mm, I can't. I can't. I can't. Huh? No, no, for Christ's sake. Was that image I was looking at? Lean into it looking more like a skull. Now with the basic setting done, I need to think of story. Any suggestions? Also favor dominant because the acceleration caused them to evolve and be more well adapted to the cold as it accelerates. Will there be woolly mammoths there though? Now that's the real question. I'm out here asking the real questions. No woolly mouths. How dare you! No reason for me to add, as it does not fit the acceleration. Then again, elephant in zoo turbo evolved it by the acceleration for the climate would lead to mammoths. Exactly! Add mammoths! Do it! This is probably one of the most metal as hell things I've ever drawn, and it's kinda based as hell. Oh, wait, that's not meant to. Whoops. Why he looking at me like that? Why not? That's what I clicked. Okay, this is getting dark, and I like it. Bro's got the golem hair. I think I'll just leave that for now because I can't think of. Vampire looking mad fine. This is your type? This your guy? No, I think it should be based on the inside of the mouth. Nice high cheekbones, flowing locks, small nose, and white teeth. What nose? Who needs a nose anyway? People who want to smell stuff. No, I'm gonna leave the hands alone for now. Just get the rest of it done. Because hands are so goddamn hard, and being right at the front makes it so difficult. Okay, it's looking okay, I guess. Smell by diffusing air directly into your brain, no nose needed. That is not how the sense of smell works, but okay. Is that a vampire, male or female? I really can't tell if I'm being honest. Good, it's not meant to have a gender, it's... I don't know what it is, I'm not drawing with a gender in mind. If you couldn't tell, it's an abomination and affront to nature. God, I'm tired. Yeah, it's almost 10. Okay, did a lot of yapping today. I am probably gonna stop as my brain is fried and I'm tired. I would say a lot of images today. Not sure if it's going well, not sure if it's going bad. It's not going as bad as it could. That's for sure. Just found someone who's working on Divinity. Cool. I'm gonna go bed. Good night, Sidon. Good night, the probably no one who's going to watch this outside of like you and the bard, because you guys are really nice people. Um, and if someone else is watching this after the live, hello, thank you for dropping by. I'm leaving now.